Hello, and welcome back to another development log. Over the past week, I've been working with a bit of tough material, let's just put it that way. Said last week that I would be starting the AI. Or did I? I actually don't remember if I mentioned that or not. But I did. This has been one of the most challenging things I have ever done. I can say, though, it feels quite satisfying. Oh, the Steam, okay. It feels quite satisfying to have actually pulled something off. So, I know this is marked as like partial, that's because this is still extremely experimental. It works. Kind of. There was an issue where like detection was going in a reverse cone, like it could only sense things behind it. Something was weird there. I ended up managing to fix it, but only like 10 minutes ago. So, yeah. I'm not particularly sure what's going on with this, but I decided to do a different system. So if you'll notice, I don't actually have a client open today. I'm just working in the actual scene itself. I actually could probably maximize this. Yeah, sure, I'll maximize it for now. So I believe these two are set to ignore each other under these circumstances. They're supposed to be like some cross between a slime and a person, mostly because I'm too lazy to model a slime for this purpose. I didn't have enough time. So I just took the basic person model and gave it some transparent stuff and called it a slime. If you'll notice, they're actually taller than the current character model, because the current character model was actually just supposed to be short. I meant to make more models, but I never got around to it. So if I start this up, they should ignore each other. Yeah, they just walk around. They just do their idling thing. If you notice the colors of the pluses, those determine what they're looking at. So for example, every second they take a look at their surroundings. The blue crosses are them noticing themselves. Red crosses are invalid things that they either can't see or aren't considered like an entity. Yellow things are marked as things that are considered an entity but are on the same team and they shouldn't be aggressive toward them. And then green is attack them. In short. I'm not exactly sure what happens when there ends up being more than two of these things. I'm not really sure if the AI breaks. The AI actually tends to break if there are two of them anyway. So, yeah, they just walk around like this until they get back close to each other. I don't really think they're going to at this point, but I'm just gonna give it a minute, see what happens. I'll cut to it if they do. Oh, there it is. See, if you notice, that one right there can see the other one because of the yellow pluses, which now disappeared, but if you saw them, that's what I meant. So I'm gonna close this out and just show that it works with other amounts and not just two. So the way this works is there is a, oops, wrong one. There's a large sphere collider by the name of Home, and the two slimes know to stay inside this sphere. No matter what, the slimes can't leave this sphere. If they do, they end up walking back to somewhere in it. I think they end up walking back to a random position in it, not the closest point, but I'll fix up their pathing a little bit later. So in there are all the entities that follow that command. So for example, these two slimes. I'm just going to make a bunch of copies of B, just because I can. Let's just go up to 20 of them. Or, okay, 20 copies, so I guess there are 22. Wrong maximization. So now if I hit play, and deselect everything, I realize I'm screen capturing, so things are getting a little bit laggy. But there are a bunch of them, and you can see which ones can see other ones, which ones can't. That one is being seen by quite a few. Same with that one. But like that one over there isn't. I don't know. This is basically how they work. It's probably a bit laggy, though. They currently don't understand how to, like, climb up this cube. They only can go down it. Speaking of which, I probably could actually get one to do that. So I'm going to stop this, clear the ones I spawned, and I will cut to it when I get one up there. Okay, so this one here is just going to idle around on the cube until it wants to walk off the edge, at which it will probably try to run down the cube. Let's see if it does that. Never mind, I'm not sure it's going to. I stand corrected. It doesn't seem to want to climb down there, which is actually good. I mean, it will if its pathfinding ends up leading it over here and it decides to climb down. And once it starts going down, it can't go back up, but I don't know, maybe it'll do it. Yeah, something tells me it's not. So I've been sitting here a while and it doesn't seem to want to go down the cube, so I'm just going to leave this one here. Oh, it's getting closer. Let's give it one more shot. Oh, what's it doing? Oh, maybe? Maybe? Apparently not. Whatever. Alright, so I'm just gonna close this back out, get the view down here, and if I go, for example, on these two, and check hostile on, actually let's just reset it to the default, which should be, oh, whoops, I forgot I verified it with that on. There we go, that one's been spotted. They both saw each other. So now they get close and start attacking each other, which ends up being this really glitchy animation. But I also only got this working like 10 minutes ago, so I'm going to have to look into why it's doing this. I think they're going to attack on cue, which is kind of eerie. Yeah. They're at like the exact same motions. This is weird. They twitch at the same time, they attack at the same time. The only thing that's off is the detection. Huh. Weird. So yeah, I don't really have much else to show this week. I'm going to showcase what the logic system is for this AI. But if you don't feel like taking a look at that, that's really all there is for this week. They don't interact with players at all yet. I just want to make sure they can understand like how they work with each other before I start integrating players, which are actually, that shouldn't be too bad. I mean, they all don't see each other as AI. They just see each other as objects they have to attack. So if they see the player as an object they have to attack, that probably would work just the same. So yeah, this is how the AI works. There's a variable that I've deemed action priority, and I just realized this header should probably be down here, but I'll deal with that later. The action priority determines what the AI should do. It runs down a list until it hits the end of a line that it can complete. So, for example, all of the first variables have to be true, or all of the first like checks or whatever have to return true, and then the action has to be completed. And if it ends with end, it'll stop. So for example, in the first frame, if attack timer is going, it'll check it, return true, do nothing, and then end. So it doesn't get to line 2, or element 1 in this case. But if it's not attacking, it'll check the detection timer, and then take a look at all the enemies it sees and check if any of them are gone, and it should forget about them. And then in the next case, it'll look for new enemies it should be detecting. After that, it makes sure if it's really far from its home place that it goes back. If not, it tries to block attacks. If not, it'll attack enemies. If not, it'll face them. If not, then it'll just check to see if it should run or not. I believe this is marked as a continue. Yeah, if it hits a continue and it's true, it'll still continue going on. So this is just a passive thing that happens. so we can get to the move state. But the move just causes it to end. It'll look for enemies, then go towards one, so it's within attacking range. If it doesn't have any actual enemies to track down, it'll go places where it thinks there might be one. For example, in the direction of like an arrow it got hit by. I mean, I don't have the programming for that done yet, but... Or for example, if it sees an enemy, the enemy walks away from it, and it's not in its field of view, it'll guess where it last was. And then if it's not doing anything and it's outside of its home, it'll come back. There is a distinction. For example, I believe outside of the home is just right outside the sphere, but far from home is considered like somewhere around here. So they have a bit of distance for attacking, but they will return to the sphere afterward. Yeah, I know that's off the map, but tiny map for now. So I believe that's all there is to these. And then there's the patrol right here, but that's a bit different. I don't think I have any used code snippets that I haven't actually implemented in these. And I mean, it will vary from type to type, but for now, this is all there is. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next week.